Good morning. You may have noticed we have some very special guests here today. We have also some guests from the Maine Principals Association, and I'm going to invite them up. Dick DuRoss and Holly Couchier, please come on up.
I'm going to hope that this picks up my outside voice, and it sounds like it probably is, so I think we're going to be okay. I probably won't have to adjust this. My name is Dick DuRoss. I'm the Executive Director of the Maine Principals Association, and we'll talk a little bit about what that association is in a couple of minutes. With me this morning is Holly Couturier, and she is an Assistant Executive Director with the Maine Principals Association. And we're doing something this morning that both Holly and I really like to do. And that's to get out and go to different schools in different regions of the state, whether it's elementary schools, middle schools, or high schools, and just get to meet the adults in the building, and probably more importantly, the students in the building. I just want to let you know what a pleasure it is to come here this morning and see this wonderful, spacious building that the adults obviously have the privilege of working in, and you students have the privilege of attending here as students. We get to go to a lot of places. I need to tell you, I think this morning as we walked the halls and as the students came in here, this may be the friendliest group that I've seen in the 15 years that I've been doing this and going visiting. One young man in particular came up to me, kind of looked me up and down, saw that I had a suit on. I think that was probably part of it. And he said to me, "Are you the president?" I wasn't quite sure how to take that, but I said, "No, I'm not." So then, here's what he considered to be the second most important job. Because then he asked me if I was the mayor. And I said, "No, I think one of my good friends, Mayor Strimling, already has that job." So that's just an example of how friendly the students were. There was eye contact everywhere as Holly and I walked the halls. And obviously that doesn't just happen. It must be part of the culture here that's taught and exhibited by the adults in the building. And I just, again, want to let you know how welcomed we felt when we arrived this morning. Just a little bit about the Maine Principals Association. There are over 800 principals and assistant principals across the entire state. And they work in schools like this. They work because they care for students, they care for their staff. And just as students come to school to learn, principals and assistant principals need opportunities to learn, to be able to do their job in the very best way that they possibly can. And one of the things that our association does is to provide, we won't call it school or classes, we call it professional development. And we sponsor about 65 days per year of professional development to help principals and assistant principals do the very best job that they can. Now there's a few other things that we do as an association, and the part that I won't get into, if you ask the average person on the street in the state of Maine, they know that we oversee high school athletics. The basketball tournament, the ice hockey tournament, drama competition, all of those things. But that's secondary to what we do. The most important thing that we do is to represent our principals, our assistant principals, and the students, and trying to give them the best opportunity to succeed in every way that they can. But there's one more reason that I'm here today, one really big reason. I would guess that most of you, there's certain things that you do that you know that you're good at, and you're proud that you're good at doing those things. And probably, I would guess, it really makes you feel good when one of your parents or your classmates or your teachers said, "You are really good at this. You may, in fact, be the best in this school," whether it's running or reading or doing math, but you are the very best at what you do. And I'm here to tell you this morning that there's somebody in this room who is the very best at what they do. I am pleased this morning to tell you that we have selected, the Maine Principals Association has selected somebody in this room as the very best at what they do in the state. And it is with a great deal of pleasure that I announce to you that the Maine Principals Association Elementary Assistant Principal of the Year is no one other than Ocean Avenue's Mrs. Hanna. On her behalf, thank you very much. I'm starting to get the feeling that you folks agree, that you approve of that decision, that she is the best elementary assistant principal in the state this year? Yes. All right, now I think I noticed a couple of tears of joy, so we're going to give her just a couple of minutes to collect herself and have a few more people say some nice things about her. It's my pleasure to introduce you, Superintendent of Schools.
Good morning, guys. How excited are you for Miss Hanna? Yeah, let's hear it. She is amazing, isn't she? Probably the hardest job in the world is to be an assistant principal. It's probably the hardest job in the world because you have to do just about everything, from teaching to working with kids to worrying about buses to taking care of the naughty kids, all of that stuff, right? So it is an incredibly hard job, and I've been around for a long time, and I don't know of a better assistant principal than Miss Hanna. She is absolutely amazing. She is the pride and joy of the Portland Public Schools, and we are so very proud of Miss Hanna today. So let's hear another great round of applause. She's not just the Portland Assistant Principal of the Year, she is the entire state of Maine. That's a huge honor, and it's so deserved. And Miss Hanna, we are so proud of you. Come on up here and talk to the kids.
I can hold it because I'll probably drop it. Oh my goodness. Wow, I am overwhelmed. Oh, this is such an honor to be given this special recognition. Thank you so much from the Maine Principals Association for recognizing me for the work that I do. I am just truly grateful because I know that throughout the state of Maine there are so many assistant principals who are just as deserving, if not more, for this acknowledgement, and especially here in Portland. You know, winning an award like this is not possible without the support and the guidance of my colleagues and my leaders, like Superintendent Botano and Mrs. Crocker. I know I saw you there. And my mentor and my friend, my principal, Beverly Corsi. Thank you. And I also want to thank all of my colleagues and the teachers and the staff here at Ocean Avenue, who I have the deepest amount of respect and admiration for the work that you do. And I especially want to thank all these students sitting here in front of me, because you inspire me to challenge myself every day to do the best I can do to be there for you. So thank you. There's really not much more I can say. I noticed that some of my family members have snuck in, so I need to thank you too for the never-ending supply of love and support that you guys give me. And, you know, I truly love being the assistant principal at Ocean Avenue School. I'm very proud and very happy to do this, and this is just such a wonderful feeling to be recognized and acknowledged for doing a job that I just simply love to do. So, thank you.
And so, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, I always do this. I messed up. I missed a couple of really important people who also have some wonderful things to say about Miss Hanna. And so I absolutely apologize, Miss Corsi. Would you like to come up and say a couple of words?
Thank you. It's so exciting. We wanted to get right to Miss Hanna, the main act. I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who's here. Thanks for making it part of your day to come out. Thanks to all the visitors and to all of you and the teachers who had to plan a little differently today to make this meeting last a little longer. So Anne's mom and husband are here. If you want to give a wave. Thank you for coming. And I just wanted to say it has been my absolute privilege to work with Mrs. Hanna for the past years. I first met Mrs. Hanna when we were at a curriculum meeting and we were talking about helping kids learn to read, and she was talking, and I thought to myself, whoa, that is a very caring woman, and she is definitely intelligent. I'll have to keep that in mind. And when she said she wanted to come work at Ocean Avenue School, I knew she was going to be a special part of our team. So thank you for coming to work here. She does so much every day. I don't even know if people know. She spends so much time helping kids who are having a hard time, and she does this by truly listening. She really hears what people have to say and then tries to help solve the problem. I learned so much from Mrs. Hanna about that. She inspires me. She comes to work every day because of every student, because of every staff, and because of every family here at Ocean Avenue School. I could go on and on, but I would be here all day and all night talking about all the great things she does for our school. But in addition to that, she helps our entire district. She's a go-to person when people need guidance across the district. She has led a team of people thinking about how to help kids read across the city. She's gotten all the volunteers in here for Starting Strong. All the first graders who have a buddy, that was Mrs. Hanna. So I really want to say thank you to her and thank you to everyone. And it was my absolute pleasure to nominate Mrs. Hanna for the Assistant Principals of the Year. And she said, no, it's not going to happen. I said, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. How could it be otherwise? So thank you. And would anybody else like to come up and say a few words? Mr. Strimley? Mrs. Davis? Yep.
Thank you. Good to see everybody. Congratulations, Ms. Hanna. It was such an honor when I heard this last night that it was happening. I cleared my schedule this morning to make sure that I could be here. I think I got the first picture when you first heard the news, and it's already on Facebook, so the whole world knows. And it's really, I really love this city. It's such an honor, and thank you to the Maine Principals Association. 2 of our administrators in this city now have been honored in this way, and it's just a remarkable testament to how great our schools are. So thank you very much for all you do.
I would also like to introduce Miss Lori Davis, who is a school board member, but she's not a regular school board member. She shows up at all of our stuff. You may remember her from our watermelon welcome. She came to our school auction. She is always a presence for us, and we so appreciate her support. Mrs. Davis.
So welcome. I am so glad to be here. Like Mayor Strimling, when I learned last night that this was going to happen, I said I need to be here because I've known Mrs. Hanna since she first started with the district and when I used to work for Portland Public Schools. And she was a reading consultant at Adams. And so I really wanted to be here to bring the greetings of the school board, to recognize this tremendous honor for your assistant principal and for Portland Public Schools. And I'm so glad that I was able to be here as well. So this is a tremendous honor, and congratulations.
Have a great day.